welcome. My journey to learn 中文 continues, and I'm so glad to be able to share it with you. If you are an English speaker, come join me on my journey to learn 中文 together. Let's get going with the next bunch of characters. But before that, if you haven't already, click on the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it. And here are the 6 characters we're going to learn in this episode. 什么问题yíng zhǎo. First character we have here is shén. Shén means assorted and also what? The most common use for shén is to combine it with the suffix 什么. 什么 means what or something or anything. I can say something like 你要什么? Question mark. 你 is you. 要 is want. Here I'm asking, what do you want? Or do you want something? 你要做什么? 你要 what do you want? Here specifically 做什么? What do you want to do? Another simple example 是你要吃什么? What do you want? 吃 is eat. So what do you want to eat? 你要吃什么? So yeah, pretty straightforward example of how to use 什么 is to ask what. What do you want? 你要什么? 你要做什么? What do you want to do? 你要吃什么? What do you want to eat? Some other ways to use 什么 could be something like this. 你要吃点什么吗? So I added the ma at the back because it's a question. So in this case, 吃点 is like, do you want something to eat? Yeah, I think for the English equivalent of 你要吃点什么, it's a bit more like, do you want a bite of something? Do you want a little something to eat? And you could reply to this question with 什么都可以. Pop the bean on. 你要吃点什么吗? 什么都可以. Anything will do. 谢谢. Thank you. So this is 什么 in the form of asking what or something or anything. Another way to use 什么 is to ask when. 什么时候? 什么时候 is to ask when. 你什么时候去吃晚餐? Okay, let's pop the thingy on first. 你什么时候去吃晚餐? 你 is you. 什么时候是 when. 晚餐 is dinner and 去吃 is go eat. So in English it would be when are you going for dinner? I would not translate it to when are you going to eat dinner because that's a bit redundant in English. We would just say when are you going for dinner or what time are you going for dinner? Here's another example. 今天你什么时候下班? 今天 is today. 你 is you. 什么时候是 when. 下班 is to leave work. So what do you think I'm trying to ask in 中文? 今天你什么时候下班? Yeah, when do you finish work today? Or, what time do you get off work? 今天你什么时候下班? Okay, so that's the second example of 什么 to ask when. 什么时候? Now let's look at the third way that we can use 什么. So we start with 什么 ... So this is a very specific form. 什么 something 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 都 something something something. And this is to say anything or everything. 我什么菜都可以吃. Pop the bean on. 我什么菜都可以吃. 我 is me. 菜 is a dish or a vegetable. In this case, I mean dish. 可以吃 means can eat. So here I'm saying I can eat anything or I can eat any kind of dishes. So those are the 3 examples of how to use 什 together with the suffix 么, 什么 what, 什么时候 when, and 什么 something something 都. So in this case, 我什么菜都可以吃. You can order anything for me to eat the next time we meet for dinner. The second character here is 么, a suffix, as how you've seen it used with 什么. I found 3 other examples of how to use the suffix 么. The first one 是这么, second one is 那么, and the last one is 多么. I struggle to put a direct meaning to 这么, 那么, and 多么. So I'm going to go straight into forming a sentence to illustrate how to use it and then figure out what's the closest equivalent to a mean in English. The first expression is this sentence. Braised fish is not as delicious as braised beef. Braised is 红烧鱼. Fish is not as 没有红烧牛肉. So far I've got 红烧鱼没有红烧牛肉. Okay, and this is where the 这么 comes in. 这么什么？这么好吃 not as delicious. 红烧鱼没有红烧牛肉这么好吃. So this is an example of how to use 这么. So I'm not quite sure what would be the precise word or expression equivalent in English. Maybe if you know, you can put in the comments below. Next sentence, if you don't want to learn Chinese, then you can learn Japanese. So in 中文, a way to express if you don't want to learn Chinese, you could say like this. 你不要学中文. You don't want to learn Chinese. 那么你学日文吧。你不要学中文，那么你学日文吧。So in 中文, I'm making a suggestion that why don't you learn Japanese if you don't want to learn Chinese? So 那么 could be the equivalent of saying in that case. 你不要学中文，那么你学日文吧。If you remember a few episodes ago, we covered 吧. It's to make a suggestion. Well, if you don't want to learn Chinese in that case, why don't you learn Japanese? Here's the third sentence. So in this sentence, I'm expressing a feeling about someone really taking care of me. How good is that? 他们真 take care of me 是关照我. Guānzhào is to look after, which we covered about 3 episodes back. So if you can't remember, have a look in the description below for a link for guānzhào. 他们真关照我. And I want to express how great that is. I can use 多么好. 他们真关照我. 多么好. So 多么 is an expression of how. But it's not to say how much. 不是多少，这个是 expressing how a feeling is. So expressing a feeling. How good is that? 多么好。Next we have when. When is pretty straightforward. It's to ask. 你要问我什么? What would you like to ask me? How about words using when? First one we have 问候. 问候 is to send regards to. 问号. This is really simple. 问号 refers to the question mark, the punctuation. 学问. 学问 means learning or knowledge because we've got 学 in the front. Now the first 2 words can be a little bit of a tongue twister for me and I sometimes do mispronounce it. 这是问候. 这是问号. You have to take note of the pinyin. This is H-O-U. 问候. This is H-A-O. 问号. Okay, let's make a sentence using 问候. You still remember Lin and Zhang Shan? Zhang Shan is Lin's boyfriend and he's currently working in Beijing and I'm asking her to please send my regards to her boyfriend Zhang San. So 中文是林请帮我问候张三 Put the pinyin on. Let's read that again. 林请帮我问候张三 Here is a second example. Okay, it's a rather lame sentence, but this is the best I could come up with. What 是什么? This 是字 So 这是什么? This is a question mark. 这是问号 And I have to be careful here. It's this one. 号码的号. 这是什么? 这是问号 Okay, let's move on to the next one. Let's do it a little bit differently. I'm going to write it in 中文 and then we'll translate it back to English. Okay, follow along as I go. 你要红烧牛肉学问的话问李太太 If you have been following the last few episodes, this should sound very familiar. So we've got Li Tai Tai and her favorite dish, 红烧牛肉. Okay, let's read that together. 你要红烧牛肉谁问的话问李太太. So what did I say in 中文? 你要 you want. Okay, so what do you want? In this case, the subject is 红烧牛肉谁问的话 is a way to say if, which we covered back in episode 25. So here I'm saying if you would like knowledge or to learn about 红烧牛肉问李太太吧. 你要红烧牛肉谁问的话问李太太. So if you want to learn about braised beef, ask Mrs. Lee. She will tell you all about it. Next we have 题, a topic or an exam question. The first word using 题是问题, combining the previous character 问 and 题. So 问题是 a question or a problem. Second example 是话题. 话 we covered in episode 25. It's referring to speech or dialect. So here 话题 means a conversation topic. Then we have 题目. 题目是 a topic or an exam question. So this is something I always ask my son, what's today's exam question? 今天的题目是什么? Okay, let's make some sentences up to show you how to use 问题, 话题, and 题目. Here's a pretty common sentence. It's good to learn this one. So how would we say this in 中文? 你有问题的话. So in this case, I'm structuring this sentence using the words that I already learned. So the way to say if is 的话, 你有问题的话, please ask me. 请问我. 定义, 你有问题的话, 请问我. Next sentence, let's make it a question. What is? Here you go, something very simple. So conversation topic 是话题. So let me write that down first. 话题. What is we just covered a few moments ago 是什么? And this week is 这个星期. 什么话题这个星期? It sounds totally wrong because the sentence structure in 中文is different from English, so I need to restructure it to say 这个星期话题是什么? Pop the thingy on. Let's read that back. 这个星期话题是什么? Let's have a look at the third sentence. That exam question 不是这个是那个. Exam question 是题目. Has a photograph 有. So I need to put a measure word here. 一张 a slice of, and photograph, which we learned a few episodes ago 是照片. Snap on the pinyin and let's read that together. 那个题目有一张照片. Next we have yíng. Yíng means to welcome, meet, or face. The first word using yíng is 欢迎, which is to welcome. 欢迎. You may sometimes hear me use this in the beginning of my videos where I say 欢迎回来, which means welcome back. Next we have 迎来. It's another very welcoming word. It's to receive someone or to invite in someone. And lastly we have 迎面. 面是 face that we covered a couple of episodes ago. 迎面 is a bit challenging for me. It means directly onto your face or head on. Okay, let's have a look at some sentence examples. The first one I've already mentioned. 欢迎回来. 欢迎回来. 欢迎回来是 welcome back. Next, okay, let me form a sentence in 中文 and we'll translate it back to English. Yeah. 我很高兴迎来李医生吃马来西亚名菜. Okay, let's pop the pinyin on first. 我很高兴迎来李医生吃马来西亚名菜. What have I written here? 我很高兴 I'm very happy or I'm very glad 迎来李医生 So 迎来 is to receive or to invite in 李医生 is of course my favorite doctor, Dr. Li And what did I invite him to do? 吃 is eat 马来西亚 is Malaysia 名菜是 famous dishes So I'm very happy and thrilled to invite Dr. Li to eat famous Malaysian dishes. And there are of course so many famous Malaysian dishes. I'm not going to name a specific one, but 我很高兴迎来李医生吃马来西亚名菜。Next, let's try and make a sentence with yíng nian. So I struggled with this one a little bit. Let's just keep it short and simple. 汽车. I like how the emoji shows up. There's a car emoji here and sometimes it's really helpful because it tells me that I've spelled my pinyin correctly. 汽车 is a car. 迎面走出来. I'm trying to say it like pop out. 汽车迎面走出来. It sounds right to me. If you guys think of a better way to use yíng or if there is a need to correct this sentence, let me know in the comment below. But what I'm trying to say is that the car came head-on towards me. 汽车迎面走出来. Finally, the last character in this episode, we have zhǎo. Zhǎo means to find, to look for something, to search, or to give change. Now, if you're staring at zhǎo and you're doing what I did, which is to blink several times because it looks so familiar, that's because zhǎo looks very similar to a word that we already know very well, which is 我. Yeah, give it a good stare. Pop the pinyin on so you can see the difference. You have to stare at it for a while and look at the distinction between the two characters. What I can see here is 我 has this line here that combines the left and the right component together, whereas zhǎo, it's actually two separate components. So just remember, zhǎo comes in two parts and you got to look for the two separate parts. Zhǎo means to look. So that's sort of how I try to remember zhǎo. Words using zhǎo. Zhǎo is to look for something. So what can you look for? You can 找人. Ren is a person. So 找人是 to look for someone. What else could you look for? I can 找工作. 工作 is work or a job. So 找工作是什么? 是 for a job. Next, we have 找出 to find out. And finally, we have 找钱 to give change, specifically money. Let's make some sentences. Here's a pretty straightforward one. I went to the wet market to look for someone. 我去 wet market 是菜市找人. 我去菜市找人. Yeah, this is a bit strange, but I'm going to the wet market to look for someone instead of something. Okay, let's try 找工作. Here's the sentence. Yeah, this sentence is a bit long because I'm trying to combine a few different words in here to practice them. The first one is several. We covered back in episode 25. Several to do with numbers, so I think it's 好几个. 好几个什么? University 是大学. Mates or schoolmates 是校友. Went to Beijing, so that's easy. 去北京. They went to look for work. 找工作. I'll probably put a 我 in front to refer to my university mates. Okay, let's read that and see how it sounds. 我好几个大学校友去北京找工作. Okay, sounds reasonable. Next, a sentence to use find out. Please is 请找出什么公司的 photograph 是照片在哪里? Okay, with the pinyin on, let's read that back together. 请找出公司的照片在哪里? That's quite straightforward. 找出 find out. Okay, one more sentence. Here you go. Here's a pretty simple sentence. Something we may say when we don't need the change. So how would we say that in 中文? No problem 是没问题. 你不用 You don't need 给我什么? 找钱. Okay, let's read that. 没问题，你不 用给我找钱 I suppose in English we would say, hey, no problem, please keep the change instead of you don't need to give me change. But yeah, I don't know how to express that in 中文 I'll save that for another day. So for now, no problem, you don't need to give me change. 没问题，你不用给我找钱。Congratulations if you've come this far. We have covered 6 new characters and 6 times 3 would be at least 18 new words. So give yourself a thumbs up. Now we come to the fun bit, story time or 作文. We're going to use all those new words that we have learned in this episode combined with the ones that were covered in the previous episodes and make up a story.Voila! Of course, my story would revolve around Dr. Lee and his family. So let's translate this into 中文. We're going to do it bit by bit. So let's start with the first sentence. Last Sunday 是上个星期 Sunday 是星期日 I was so happy. 我真高兴 To invite or to receive them 是迎来李医生和他的家人 So 李医生 and his family. And what did we do? Lunch in my house. 来我家吃午饭 And when they arrived, I said, welcome, welcome. 欢迎欢迎欢迎我问他们 I asked them. 要喝不是要喝是要喝 This one. 什么 What would you like to drink?李医生和李太太都要 So I'm going to use 都要 because both of them wanted a hot drink 都要喝不是喝是喝热的 Okay, something hot Lin said anything will do for me 林说我什么都可以我问他 and we female 他张三有没有 Literally got or not Does he have any problem 是问题 Find a job 是找什么工作 okay? 我问他张三有没有问题找工作But in Beijing 在北京找工作 Please send my regards to him I think we had a similar sentence when we covered 问请帮我问候他What was our conversation during lunch? I'm going to start with during lunch. 午餐时我们的话题是 Okay, this is a question, right? What was our topic during lunch? 我们的话题是什么呢? It's meant to be a rhetorical question. 我们的话题是什么呢? 对 Yeah. When Mrs. Lee is around, there is only one topic. 是红烧牛肉李太太说 Mrs. Lee says making braised beef is a body of knowledge. So body of knowledge 是学问 and making braised beef 做红烧牛肉 I think it's okay to say it like that. Make 红烧牛肉是一门学问 I was going to say simply 是一个学问 but I saw in my textbook examples and also in translations that the correct measure word for 学问是一门 So I suppose it's good to use the correct measure word to describe 学问是一门学问She wants to teach me So 她要是这个她的 female teaches to 教述我做红烧牛肉她要教述我做红烧牛肉 How good is that? So to express a feeling saying how 多么好 That's the full text translated. Let's read my little 作文 together. 上个星期日，我正高兴迎来李医生和他的家人来我家吃午饭。欢迎欢迎！我问他们要喝什么 Oops, 这个是什么药 No, sorry, I'm going to correct that. What do you want to drink? 是药 There you go, that's better. 我问他们要喝什么李医生和李太太都要喝热的林说我什么都可以我问他张三有没有问题在北京找工作 请帮我问候他。午餐时我们的话题是什么呢？对，是红烧牛肉。李太太说，做红烧牛肉是一门学问，她要教书我做红烧牛肉，多么好！I hope you have enjoyed learning with me in this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. 下集见。